Yes, I was just gonna have a couple words here to say about the um, South African charges brought against Israel regarding their genocide. Um, it's the International Court of Justice, the ICJ. The other day I was referring to it as the ICC. Different outfit. Basically, it's going to be the same outcome. They're not, they are actually an extension of the United States. And it's not legally binding, whatever's being brought before that court. And another thing, if even if it was like legally binding in some way, it's not enforceable. What do you think? Somebody is going to go over there and strong arm those genocidal maniacs over there in Israel? Netanyahu and those other ones that are genocidal maniacs. You think somebody's gonna strong arm them and take them into a court somewhere? No, it's not gonna happen. This is a stage, a scene. As you have all these judges sitting up there in those creepy black robes, trying to listen to South Africa's side and then gonna listen to Israel's side. Who needs a bunch of judges in some creepy black robes to tell people that genocide is occurring against the Palestinian people? Are people really that stupid that you have to have a group of judges dressed in black robes to tell you that genocide is taking place and has been for months now? And even through the 2 days of this whole thing, even while they're sitting there listening, people are being killed, bombed and blown to pieces, and they have no water, no food, no medicine, while they're sitting there listening to this crap. This is theatrics. This is theatrics. That's it. Because nothing is going to come about this. Wait and see what I'm saying. There ain't shit gonna come about this. And I watched some of it. I could not stomach the whole thing. But number one, who are these judges? And those black friggin' robes. It's a whole nother story with that stuff. The justice system and these creepy black robes that these people wear. Are people really so dumb that they need a group of judges to tell them that genocide is taking place? This is a question that I'm asking. Do people not have eyes? Do they not have ears? No. I don't think people need to have some judges tell the world that the Jews are committing genocide. And you know what? The Jews are masters at manipulation and deception. They can take a word and flip it around and have it mean something entirely different. And if anybody had the stomach to listen to the Israeli version of all of this, they're doing just that. They can totally... I thought I was cut off. They can totally manipulate everything that is said. It's very weird, but you know what? The only news agency that Israel is allowing into the Gaza Strip is Al Jazeera, and Al Jazeera was already there. See, the Jews do not want any witnesses to this, but Al Jazeera has been reporting from the beginning that water, electricity, food, and medicine was cut off. But guess what? You didn't need Al Jazeera to report that, because that friggin' homicidal, genocidal maniac said it right on TV in the very beginning that they were going to cut all this off, because Israel controls all of that. All the electricity and water that goes into the West Bank and Gaza is controlled by them. Not to mention the food and medicine and all this. All the borders are controlled. He stated in the very beginning they were going to cut all of that off. But yet, in this theatrical thing, in this court, this International Court of Justice, the Israeli attorneys denied this. See, it doesn't matter the evidence South Africa presents. All Israel has to simply do is say it's not true. That's all they have to do, and they're not allowing any other. They're not allowing any other media in there. Al Jazeera was in there because of the Palestinians that already lived there, but no other media is allowed in there. And I'll tell you, this is an interesting thing when it comes to history repeating itself. The Jews are using the same tactics as the Nazis did. While that was no doubt that Holocaust thing that they had, was overly exaggerated and mathematically and logistically an impossibility, it's not to say that some really bad stuff didn't happen. No, and I'm in no way saying that. There's bad things always happen during wars. But these Jews are following the Nazis' playbook. They are right through the whole thing. What did the Nazis do when they occupied countries? They established ghettos and controlled the food, water, electricity, medicine that was allowed in behind the walls, just like the Jews are doing right now. And can people not see this? I mean, people really don't know about history, and frankly, I don't think people care about history. A lot of history is a lie to begin with. But I'm just saying that this is a play. Unfortunately, lots of innocent people are being killed, but the Jews are going by the playbook of the Nazis. It's irony. And the other day I heard this thing which you would think that this would be just the opposite and that this would not be the case, but that there are a lot of young Jews immigrating to Germany. Because, see, if a person researches and they understand the connection with the Jews and the Germans dating back thousands of years, you'd have an understanding. If you don't know about that, what I'm saying, it wouldn't amount to anything, okay? But if you do happen to know that history, you have an understanding why younger Jews are immigrating back to Germany, the place where this alleged Holocaust happened against the Jewish people. Because when you understand what used to be real history, even though it's so hard now to find real history, but is the connection, and it would go way back to the Khazarian Empire and the trade routes that bottlenecked and they're in that area of the world geographically, and the people, the Ashkenazi Jews, that controlled that bottleneck of trade and controlled it. And some things never changed. See, it's still the same today, same group that control all of this. You start to understand this connection with the Germans and the Jews. And, you know, this stuff, while it sounds preposterous, I suppose, coming from someone like me, this is all well documented stuff, although it is getting harder to find this type of information. But when you find out through research those that funded the Nazis during World War II, then you start to get the big picture of the connection with the Jews and the Germans. But that, you know, that's getting a little bit off topic, because there is a connection, but, you know, the connection is, if anybody's been listening to the media, how Germany is so in full support of Israel. Well, look, y'all, there's a reason for that. And it goes back probably to blood over some thousands of years. There is a connection there, and it's not for this video, but it is, you know, there is definitely a connection that Germany is so pro-Israel, and what they're doing with this genocidal, maniacal type thing that is occurring right now. But that is really a different thing. What I would like to say is, and the purpose of this video is about this International Court of Justice, the ICJ. Look, you know what, y'all? If people need a group of judges to sit around and try to tell the rest of the world what if genocide is happening or occurring, there's no hope for humanity. If you can't jump on Al Jazeera and look, and I don't really watch the mainstream media in the United States, hardly any of it anyways. Al Jazeera, it doesn't matter, but it's a different perspective. And when you look at this, you cannot deny that there is genocide happening. And especially, you have the leaders of Israel, the head Jews, their own statements are incriminating enough. You don't need a bunch of judges sitting around in creepy black robes to tell you that genocide is taking place. Does that make sense? You don't need them. If you look at the raw video of this, besides the bombs blowing people to pieces in residential areas is not enough and has been happening for months now, this is genocide. But even in the very beginning of this most recent one, the cutting off of the supply of water, electricity, medicine, and food was the beginning of this time in history of the genocide against these Palestinian people. There's no way to get around it. The other incriminating thing is the leaders, the head Jews, saying that they were going to do this publicly on TV in front of the cameras, telling the world that they were going to do this, and they have done it. So the point of this is the International Court of Justice. This is like you go and you spend money, although they're offering this to us for free because there's a purpose behind it. But it's like if you paid money to go watch a stage show. This is what you're seeing at the International Court of Justice, because there's nothing going to come of it. Nothing. Then you think for 1 minute anybody's going to be able to get into Israel and take Netanyahu and his other maniacal, genocidal accomplices, strong arm them and take them into a court somewhere and try them? It ain't going to happen. You're watching theater play out and they're not charging you for it. You're not paying for a ticket. They're offering it to you for free. As a matter of fact, that's a good point. If they were charging you to watch that nonsense, it would maybe seem more credible. Just saying. Yeah. Just saying. Yeah, I said my piece. That's it.